Stars Tutorials, second part.
Alright, so items. So these are items. As you can see here, like Evo Soda, and like for example this Max Potion. There are two type of items. There are like normal items like these ones, or there are tools. The tools doesn't have to be shiny. This one is a special edition, like a Pokemon League promo. But and the thing is that this is a Pokemon tool, which is a different type of item. So what is an item, and how can you use them? You can play items. You can play as many items that you can play in a turn. Example: if you have your hand full of items, you can play all of the items if you want to. You can play as many items as you can. Every item there are wow thousands of items. So you need to read them to know what they do. For example, this one, which is a very common item, Evo Soda. It says, search your deck for a card at above one of your Pokemon and put it onto that Pokemon. This counts as evolving that Pokemon. Shuffle your deck afterward. You can use this card during your first turn or on a Pokemon that was put into play this turn. So, as we say before, example, you play this card. Maybe you don't have this card in your hand. Maybe it is in your deck, like inside your deck. So, if in the first turn you cannot play this card because it's your first turn, so you cannot evolve it. For example, not your first turn, the turn you put this Pokemon. Like, it doesn't matter. If you put the Pokemon, it's your turn, but you put this Pokemon now, you cannot evolve this Pokemon. You need to wait a turn, as we say before. So, you can play, if it's your second turn, you can play Evo Soda, and then go through your deck, like this. You go through your deck, you find the evolution, and you evolve it. So this is what these do. All right. So, example, this one, it says, heal all damage from one of your Pokemon. If you do, discard all energy attached to that Pokemon. So, example, imagine this Pokemon has an energy, and it has 60, like 50 damage, right? If I play this item, like Max Potion, I discard all the energies, in this case it's only one, and heal all damage from my Pokemon. There are some cards that only heal 30, but they don't discard energies. This card is very good when you have like these Pokemon. Example, imagine we evolve all this, like in turn 3, for example, you have this, and you have one energy, and like these have 120 damage. It's going to die. But you can play this card. We only discard one energy, which is very nice. That's why these Pokemon are very good. And then you heal your Pokemon completely. So your Pokemon is completely healed. So remember, when you use an item, it goes to the discard pile. So you cannot use it again. Remember that little detail. Okay? So those are items. Now, what are tools? For example, if you remember before, we talked about Gender Spirit Link, which was a Pokemon tool. And we have here a Muscle Band, which is a Pokemon tool. So what is this? It says, let's see if you can read it. It's very shiny. It says, the attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. So it means that if I attach this card, most of the time you touch it like this. If you attach this card to a Pokemon, then, for example, this attack, instead of doing 40, is going to do 60 because I got 20 more damage. So that's a Pokemon tool. There are a lot of different Pokemon tools, all right? So I'm just explaining like two of them. Remember, this is a Pokemon tool, and this is a Pokemon tool too. Okay? So that's it. You can only attach one tool to every Pokemon. Alright? You cannot attach more than one tool. You can only attach one tool. There are special Pokemons that have special conditions here, like special abilities that allow you to attach more than one Pokemon. For example, Entei. Entei does that. So, and that's all about items. So, let's go to supporters. So, a supporter, for example, this one, it's called AZ supporter. What is the difference between a supporter and an item? You can only play one supporter per turn. You cannot play more than one. It's only one supporter per turn. But most of them do something very nice. So that's why you can only play one per turn. Let me put like an easier one to understand. For example, this one is called Professor Bird's Observation. It's a supporter. Look at this. It says, shuffle your hand into your deck and flip a coin. If heads, draw 7 cards. If tails, draw 4 cards. So imagine that I have these cards in my hand, like these cards in my hand, and I play this card, Professor Bird's Observation. I will get these cards into my deck, shuffle them, and then flip a coin. And if I get heads, like I just did, I will draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 cards. So I have a wider chances to get something I need in the moment I need it. This is called Professor Birch. So this is a supporter. You can only play one supporter per turn, remember. So the supporter we saw before, like AC, what this card does is look, put one of your Pokemon into your hand, discard all cards attached to that Pokemon. So example, if you got a Pokemon here, I can play this card and return this card to my hand. Obviously, you need to have a bench Pokemon, because if you return this card and you have no bench Pokemons, that means you don't have any active Pokemon and any bench Pokemon, so you lost the game. So I can retrieve this card. Obviously, if that card had energies attached to it, for example, these energies, and I play this card, it says that I have to discard all the cards attached to it, even if that card had like a tool attached to it. Example, imagine that I have this Pokemon tool attached to my card, and I play AZ. So I will get this card. Let's put some damage too, which is the nice part about it. Imagine that you have 6, 6, and let's put 3. You got 150 damage there. Okay, 150 damage. Imagine that I don't want this Pokemon to die, because if this Pokemon dies, my opponent will take 2 prize cards. So what do? I play AZ right here, AC, and I can put this Pokemon to my hand. Like it comes to my hand, and obviously I don't have damage anymore, but I have to discard all the cards attached to the Pokemon. Okay, it is very good in some decks. For example, in these decks, which use only 1 energy, it's very nice because you only discard 1 energy. And remember, if the cards return to my hand, I can put them back into play again. So I can get this ability, which is to paralyze my opponent. So for example, I play AC, I return the card to my hands, and I play them again. So next turn, I can play this again and do the ability again, and I will be gaining some nice advantage. And obviously, like in this deck, that card is very good. Let me explain you why, if you understand. By now you should understand this. But I will explain you when we get to that point. So, let's see. Okay, right now, remember, we got items. 2 type of items, like tools and normal items, right? We have Pokemon cards, like this one, stage basic Pokemons, stage 1, stage 2. We have EX Pokemons, we have Brave Pokemons, we have Mega Evolution. Oh, wait, putting off the camera right here. We got EX Pokemons, remember, Brave Pokemons, and we have Mega Evolutions. I mean, this is the evolution of this one. So that's the Pokemons we have, and the items. We got supporters, remember, like this one, and like Bird's Observation. There are a lot of supporters too. So what are we missing? We're missing only 2 things. We're almost finishing, guys. We're only missing 2 things. Okay, what else are we missing? We're missing stadiums. What is a stadium? A stadium card, it's a card you put on the field and it affects me and it affects my opponent. So my opponent can take advantage of this and me too. So uh, a, a stadium, it can be advantage for you, but your opponent can get advantage from it too because it affects both. Example, look at this, photos of Jagan plants. It says, each player's plant or grass type Pokemon can evolve during his or her first turn or the turn he or she plays those Pokemon. So think about it. Like for example, now I don't have to wait one turn to evolve my Pokemon. I can put this Pokemon and I can put this Pokemon right away and I can continue evolving the Pokemon in the same turn because this card says that my plants Pokemon, my grass type Pokemons can evolve in any turn or the first turn they were played. So I don't have to wait for any turns. But remember, if your opponent if your opponent has grass type Pokemons, he can do that too. So take it into consideration. So when you play Stadium, you need to know when to play it because your opponent may take advantage of it too. So the last cards that we have to actually analyze is energies. All right, so let's get to the energies. In Pokemon, we have 9 type of energies and special energies we will explain. So we have grass type energies. Let me put it here so that you see it better. Like we got grass type energies. We got fighting type energy. We got fire energies. Metal energy. We got water energies. Water. Electric energy. Fairy energy. Black energy. Right here. We got black energy. And we have, we got special energy. Special energies are different from basic energies. For example, basic energies you can have as many as you want in a deck, but special energy you can only have 4 copies of it, like any other card. We're missing psychic energy. We're missing this one. We cannot make psychic, right? That's it. Those are all the energies you can use in a Pokemon game. So special energies are very important because they give you a special stats. Example, look at this card. This is a special energy, like a mystery energy. It can only be attached to a psychic Pokemon. Remember, I mean, all these cards you can attach it to any Pokemon you want. Doesn't matter the type of a Pokemon. Example, I can attach this energy to a plant Pokemon. It doesn't matter. Now, remember, I can only use this attack, which uses any type of energy, but I cannot use this attack because that's not a plant energy. All right? So you need to be very careful about it. So when you make your deck, try to make your deck around the same type of Pokemon so that you only have one type of energy or maybe 2 maximum. After that, it gets complicated. If you play with, for example, if I play with psychic Pokemon and plant Pokemons together, I will have to put like these 2 energies. So maybe when you draw something, you will not draw the energy you want to, and you will have problems. You need to know how to control your energies. So all right. So let's keep it rolling. Let's see. So this card, what this card does is that when you attach this to for example, to this Pokemon which is psychic, if I attach this energy, it says that the retreat cost of my Pokemon this card is attached to is 2 energy less. So remember, this retreat cost was 2, but with this card, I have -2, so I can move freely without having to pay any energies. Because now my retreat cost is 0. So that's special energies. This is the most famous special energy, the double colorless energy. It's called DCE, double colorless energy. It says that double colorless energy provides 2 colorless energy. So, for example, the best example I can give you is with this card. With this card. Look, this attack uses 1 psychic energy and 2 colorless energy. So example, I can either play this energy and then play any other energy I want, doesn't matter. The thing is that you have to have one psychic and two energies of whatever. So I can put any two energies and I will make it happen. But what happens if you have this? You can put it and automatically you have the three energies you need. What's important about this? It's tempo. Example. To put three energies, we have to wait one turn, one energy. One turn, one energy. One turn, one energy. So you have to wait for 3 turns to be able to use this attack. But if you have the DCE, one turn, one energy, and the second turn, you're ready to attack because you have the 3 energies you need right away. So that's the difference between putting this into play or not. So remember, you can only have 4 of any special energy, only 4 copies. Of this, you can have any copies you want. And that's all you have to know about cards in Pokemon. Alright? That's all you have to know about cards in Pokemon. So, there's only one thing we need to tell you right now is how to play. Remember, let's start to the how to play right now. Okay. So, remember, you have a deck of 60 cards. Your opponents too. At the beginning, you need to shuffle your deck, right? Shuffle your deck. And then you need to draw 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You see your cards and you look for a basic Pokemon. For example, in this case, as you can see, I have item, supporter, energy, item. You have a stage 2 and an energy. So I cannot play because I don't have a basic Pokemon like this one. I don't have a basic Pokemon, so I cannot play. So I have to mulligan, and your opponent will take an extra card. Alright? So you need to shuffle your cards back in your deck again. And then, obviously this is not 60 cards, I'm just doing it for as an example. And you have to draw 7 cards again. Alright? So let's see these 7. In these 7 cards, we do have a basic Pokemon. Alright? So, oh, by the way, before you shuffle, when you don't have basic Pokemons, you need to show your hand to your opponent so that your opponent knows that you really don't have basic Pokemons. In this case, I have basic Pokemons, so you need to play this card face down so that your opponent doesn't know. So you play one face down, he plays one face down, and you can put any bench Pokemons that you want. In this case, I have not more basic Pokemons, so I cannot put bench Pokemons. After you put this card and everything is set, then you need to put your prize cards. From the top of your deck, you put 6 cards in this side. 6 cards. Let me organize this nicely. You got 6 cards. Every time you kill your opponent, one of your opponent Pokemons, you take 1 prize card. If you kill an EX or a GX, you get 2 prize cards instead of 1. For you don't know what's on the prize card, but if you're a good player, by looking through your deck, looking for something, for example, when you use an Evosoda, you will be able to look through your deck to look for the Pokemon that are above the Pokemon, so you can actually take a pic of what's missing, and you will know what's there. There are some cards that reveal all that in one turn, and they reveal the whole thing. You can fix it up. For example, Town Map. It's an item that is called Town Map. And you can put this face up. All right. So you flip a coin. Example, you decide whether you want heads or tails. And for example, I want heads. If I get the tails, my opponent chooses who goes first. So what's the problem about going first or going second? When you go first, you can do everything you can do, but you cannot attack. All right? So if you go first, you cannot attack in your first turn. You will have to wait for the second turn to attack. If you go second, you can do everything and you can attack, which is the best part about going second. But there are some decks that you need to be second because you have a very aggressive start. So you want your opponent to have like leader Pokemon like this one, right here, so that you can kill them easily. But there are some decks where you need to evolve Pokemons where you want to be first, so that you get the tempo to evolve more Pokemons and more Pokemons, and to get like to actually have time to put more energies to your Pokemons and then be able to attack. All right. So when the game starts, imagine that I go first. Game starts. You put this face up. I have no bench Pokemon. That means if they kill this Pokemon next turn, game over. So what can I do here? Every turn you will obviously draw a card. We have an energy, that's perfect. So example, I can attach this energy to this Pokemon. I cannot use the attack, which is flip a coin. If heads, your opponent Pokemon is paralyzed. I cannot use the attack because I cannot attack. But what can I do? I can use Wally. It's a supporter. And it says, search your deck for a card that evolves one Pokemon, even in your first turn. But I have the evolution right here. Look. But I cannot play it. Because remember, I cannot evolve in the first turn. So on, and so on. So remember, if you have nothing to do anymore, you just pass the turn and your opponent plays. Now, we will have a special video with this deck online so that you see how the back and forward goes and goes. But this is all you need to know to play Pokemon TCG. Before we go, let's do the second turn. Example, your opponent didn't attack. So you get to go to the second turn. In the second turn, I draw a card. And this turn, I can evolve my Pokemon. And I have an Ariados, which poisons you directly. Look at this. Once during your turn, before your attack, you may use this ability. Both active Pokemon, except for grass-type Pokemons, are now poisoned. So I can poison my opponents even if I am in the bench. Alright, so this is pretty much it, guys. So I hope you enjoy all this video and you learn a lot. In the next video, we will be playing with this deck against real people online. So that you see how this works. This is all you need to know about playing cards. And that's it. Guys, thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to my channel and to please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and everything else. We will be doing more how to. We will do, let's see if I can do here. We will do how to Vanguard. Like this is Vanguard. We will do a how to Vanguard. And we will do how to Magic, like this one. See if I can get some cards. We will do a how to Magic right here. This is Magic the Gathering. Let's show you. So Magic the Gathering, and we will be doing a how to Yu-Gi-Oh, which is here too. Let's see if I can find some cards. Come on, Yu-Gi-Oh. And we will be doing a how to Yu-Gi-Oh. This is Yu-Gi-Oh. Let's see if I can get it. This is Yu-Gi-Oh. We will be doing a how to Yu-Gi-Oh too. So stay tuned and check the channels because we will be doing how to TCG in every possible situation. So we will have Pokemon, which we did today. We got Banger, Yu-Gi-Oh, and we got Magic the Gathering. So stay tuned. Sight! See you next chapter.